Things are heating up across our area, including the opportunity for some tropical activity. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi friends, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. We're your home for Caribbean weather. Great to see you on a Monday. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Coming up in this video, we still have areas with flooding rains. We've been plagued with that over the weekend. We'll talk about those spots on this Monday. I've got your island by island rainfall forecast. And for the first time this year, the first interesting thing I've seen on the models in regards to some potential tropical development in our area. As we get started, Meteo Mundo, sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. Quite simple. Anything that impact you or your property, they'll walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. You go to leanonmelaw.com if you would like more information. Love my Meteo Mundo weather community. Let me know in the comment section below where you're viewing from, what's been happening with the weather. You're looking at current temperatures, our enhanced satellite imagery, the live lightning data here at Meteo Mundo. Hot, hot, hot in portions of Central America, including inland Belize, where we've hit nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot other conditions as well, some upper 80s to lower 90s. Storms still abound through portions of the greater Antilles. We'll begin with the video. Eastern sides of Cuba, portions of Jamaica and Hispaniola, showers and storms developing again. These spots continue to be plagued by heavy flooding rains. It's been a concern across the Dominican Republic the last couple of days, and we're firing up additional heavier showers and storms on this Monday. Again, fairly widespread. Some areas will get more than 100 millimeters or 4 inches of rain just this afternoon. That's why we have the flood threat. This is what it looks like on the visible satellite imagery. Look at all these bright white cloud tops, a lot of lift in the atmosphere. Again, we have this trough, which is situated over the area. It's just a focusing mechanism for storms, and they're widespread again on this Monday. Temperatures again coming down where we've had some rain, like La Romana and Punta Cana, Santo Domingo, but again, island-wide, especially interior locations, elevated flooding concerns, landslides, mudslides, urban flooding, and stream flooding as well. My friends in the DR and Haiti, let me know in the comment section below what's been happening in your area. We'll follow this into the eastern sides of Cuba, where thunderstorms continue to develop there, especially near Santiago de Cuba. We continue to see storms getting going again on this Monday afternoon through portions of Jamaica. And again, it's been area dependent, but a lot of my friends in Jamaica have dropped it in the comments that they've had some healthy rainfall totals. You can see the cloud coverage building back in. Kingston's temperature, back down to 84 degrees for time here. We've had some clouds and at least the opportunity for some showers along the eastern side of the island, trying to also build in some extra clouds and some opportunity for showers and storms on the western side as well. No lightning as of yet, but there could be a few rumbles of thunder later this afternoon. My friends in Jamaica, scattered showers and storms for today. But again, let me know in the comment section below if you've had any of that. We're trying to drift some of this moisture towards the Cayman Islands. Going to get a little bit better opportunity for Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac in the next day or two outside of a spotty shower on this Monday. A few showers are possible in the southeast Bahamas and Turks and Caicos for this afternoon. Mainly dry, more thinner high clouds than anything else. Got a great photo from Claudia with this halo or corona in the sky here over Grand Turk. Again, the thin high clouds made of ice crystals produce this iridescence and that halo around the sun. Beautiful picture there. You gotta love the seagull in the foreground. Come on, Claudia, thank you for sending in that fantastic photo there. Let's drop on down to areas that have had big time problems with the rain. We've mentioned the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, portions of the Virgin Islands. Got some video over the weekend out of St. Thomas of some washed out roads. So it's been a problem. We continue to have heavy rain developing here in Puerto Rico at the hour. Let's see if we have any flash flood warnings that are currently in effect. We do. As a matter of fact, we even have some special weather statements here. Let's go to our live radar out of the southeast side of Puerto Rico. The yellow that you see is just what's called a special weather statement. It's not a severe thunderstorm, but it's a storm that's producing some winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour and some small hail as a possibility in a couple of spots. Let me get rid of that special weather statement, and all of this flood warning continues. Again, some areas in interior Puerto Rico have had 4 or 5 inches of rain every day. Not the same areas every day, but we are totaling more than 10 inches of rain or more than 250 millimeters in some spots since the end of last week. It's a huge problem. We continue to see flooding, landslides, mudslides, urban flooding, street flooding, stream flooding. My friends in Puerto Rico, let me know in the comment section below what you're seeing. But again, this is very widespread and it will continue to be the case. Scattered showers will be heavy over portions of Vieques and Culebra. Again, got a comment of one of the islands that, there's not a lot of terrain there, it's relatively flat. There could still be some flash flooding even on flatter terrain, but obviously terrain funnels the water into the lower elevations, and that's where we do have the most significant flooding. We've had some heavy rain over St. Croix over the last couple of days. Same situation for St. Thomas, St. John, our friends in the Virgin Islands on the British side, Jost Van Dyke, Tortola, Virgin Gorda, and Anegada. This is an area that will continue to have the opportunity for some heavier rain in the coming days. Now, we should eventually wash out this trough. Right, I'm going to go back over to this visible satellite imagery here. We should eventually wash out this trough and begin to dry out, but it's going to be a process. On over to our friends in the Leeward Islands. We'll start up here in the Lesser Antilles, the Lesser Antilles into the Leeward Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Barbuda, Antigua. Showers, a brief isolated thunderstorm, temperatures that haven't been that bad because some of the clouds have moved in here. Look at over St. Kitts and Nevis. We've had temperatures drop back into the 70s with some heavier rain there. If I go back over to the enhanced satellite imagery, again, a little bit of a billowing up of moisture here. This is good quality moisture that's in play right now. Let's take a look at the wind gusts in this area. See if we've had any stronger wind gusts. Nothing crazy, right? We've had some 20, 25 over Puerto Rico, but not too much over the islands right now. But again, passing showers, an isolated thunderstorm, Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, all with that potential for today. It's a little bit more scattered in nature, a little bit more haze even. St. Lucia South, again, St. Lucia above 90 degrees Fahrenheit for today, 32 degrees Celsius. Barbados, just a few showers trying to develop and push off of the island. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you see that little kind of haze in the sky? Again, a little bit of concentration of Saharan dust back in here in the Windward Islands, trying to blow up a few thunderstorms over Trinidad and Tobago at the hour. Moisture is going to try and come off the mainland. This will be a trend. It's really just getting started. I'm going to show you the models coming up where this area could get a lot wetter here, including Nueva Esparta, portions of Guyana, Suriname, and Venezuela as well. But friends of the ABC Islands, been a relatively hot day. More than likely, not a lot of rain in the area, staying just offshore from you guys as well. Temperatures right around 90 degrees. Thunderstorms continue to be a big problem in Panama and Costa Rica. Ongoing flooding there. Again, rich, deep tropical moisture in the eastern Pacific. And this is an area that we're going to be talking about coming up here maybe next week. Could we get our first broad tropical development? We'll talk about that coming up. Put a pin in it for now. Hot, mainly dry. Nicaragua towards Honduras, getting really hot, as I mentioned. Inland sides of Belize, San Ignacio hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit today. There is a heat advisory for inland Belize. Hot, dry, not a lot of rain to break things off, cool things down. Same thing for Cancun and Cozumel. Into the Bahamas we go. It's been relatively wet in the far northwest Bahamas along a stalled out boundary. Additional showers and storms are developing. Now, yesterday we even had some severe thunderstorm warnings for the northwest Bahamas because of some of the activity. We will continue to see thunderstorms developing off of the east coast of Florida and trying to work their way off to the east. Walker's Key, Grand Bahama, Bimini, by far the better areas to get a shower or storm for today. Again, really concentrated just west of the islands. We could get another pulse of energy coming back in, so we're not completely dry. We're also trying to push some showers back towards Andros at the hour as well. Those are just really developing as we speak right over the island. Nice lightning count here. Pretty good storm over Andros. Might brush over New Providence towards the Nassau area there. Not a bad temperature as well there, but again, a little bit more activity here in the northwest Bahamas thanks to a stalled out boundary in the southern sides of Florida. That's what it looks like right now. Let's get into your forecast, and as we do so, friends, I always appreciate those who take a quick second liking the video. If you haven't subscribed to Meteo Mundo, you want these daily forecasts, join our community. Thank you for sharing this with your family and friends. As we get closer to hurricane season, more and more important to get more eyeballs on the channel because things are going to get more active. And that's how I expect the next week to play out. So we have this very broad spin in the western Atlantic. It could throw a few showers towards Bermuda, all right? But I'm going to be focused on what's happening in the eastern Pacific and moisture lifting up to the north. Now, in the short term, meaning over the next 3 days, this is not going to be anything that is going to be problematic for us outside of Panama and Costa Rica getting heavier rain. So we'll talk about the overall kind of evolution of this in the coming days in just a minute. The first thing I want to do, though, is get to your island by island rainfall forecast in the next few days. Because again, we're going to have to watch what happens over places like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. All right? Hang on a second here. I don't want to give it all away. I made the loop too long. Let me go back to just the next few days, and then we'll get into what might be happening here in the Western Caribbean coming up. But you got maybe a little bit of a preview there. In the shorter term, we still have to watch out for the flooding rains. The Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands. Still in these areas each afternoon, we could get a few isolated locations, 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches of rain. So 75 to 125 millimeters in just one day in choice locations. More widespread, 25 to 50 millimeters or 1 to 2 inches. Could see some heavier rain over the Virgin Islands the next couple of days as well. This trough should begin to fall apart a bit, and we should start to put in drier air beginning kind of late Wednesday and into Thursday. Now, rain chances overall may not fall a lot in these areas, but hopefully the rain totals come down a bit. But again, for Puerto Plata, Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, possibility of very heavy rain, especially interior sections of the Dominican Republic over the next day or two. Same situation over Puerto Rico, interior locations. Again, Virgin Islands will have that opportunity. Into the Lesser Antilles, you can still see plenty of green on this map. It's going to be more choice locations from Anguilla to St. Bart's and Barbuda and Antigua and St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat and Guadeloupe. But the opportunity is there, all right? Scattered Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, little bit quieter the next couple of days, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada and Barbados. Eventually, as I told you, we're going to pull this monsoon trough north, and more than likely places like coastal Venezuela, Suriname, Guyana, TNT will start to get better rain chances, especially by Thursday. Kind of a building rain chance, but my friends in Trinidad and Tobago should get better rain chances beginning on Thursday. Same thing for Nueva Esparta and the ABC Islands. We should be relatively dry, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao through Wednesday, but beginning on Thursday, we should start to pull enough moisture back to the north. We will see better rain opportunities there. Still will be some passing showers, but the rain chances should begin to improve. My friends in Jamaica, you're kind of on the flip side of this, where I think your best chance for rain is later today and tomorrow, and then things dry out a touch Wednesday and Thursday. Not completely dry. We'll still have some scattered showers, but rain chances will actually lower. So again, let me know in the comments, have you had enough rain? Do you need a little bit more? You got today and tomorrow to get a little bit more shower activity. I think we could also pop up a couple of showers early tomorrow in Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac, but overall, rain chances will be very scattered in nature here. The air is just a little bit drier the farther northwest that you go. Now into the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. Again, I've mentioned this spin out to the west. It is moving, out to the east. It is moving west, right? It's not going to become anything. It's going to get absorbed by this next cold front coming off the U.S. East Coast. But again, it's a broad mid-level low, spinning back west, rain for Bermuda, kicking up surf and sea conditions again, but generally speaking, probably not getting close enough to have a direct influence for the Bahamas forecast. It's more of the localized storms in the northwest Bahamas, maybe tomorrow as well, as this boundary in central and south Florida finally begins to fall apart too. So generally speaking, I don't actually have a lot of rain outside today for all of the Bahamas, with maybe a slightly better chance for the northwest Bahamas tomorrow, and then building a little bit Thursday, southeast Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. We're mainly dry for Quintana Roo, Belize, Guatemala, northern Honduras, the Bay Islands, and into Nicaragua in the coming days. But this is an area where we could get a little bit more active weather as we get into next week. So let's get into your island by island forecast. Again, not a ton of rain, but slightly better tomorrow in the northwest Bahamas, then slightly better central and southeast Turks and Caicos Wednesday, Thursday. Better chance for rain southeast side of Cuba, but just a 30% chance overall. Cayman Islands, again, a spotty, isolated passing shower storm is possible Tuesday, Wednesday, even a little bit drier Thursday. Not expecting anything more than the isolated rogue shower in Belize and Cancun and Cozumel in the coming days. Jamaica's rain chance, 40% chance for tomorrow. Then just a 20% chance Wednesday, Thursday. So the drier air moving in. But even the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico will finally begin to dry out. Still going to take a day or two. Still could see some very heavy flooding rains tomorrow. Still a concern. Should be a little bit better Wednesday and then drier on Thursday. Not completely dry. It's something I'll monitor through the week. U.S. and British Virgin Islands will fall a bit as well. Best rain chances highlighted in Bermuda is on Wednesday. And then the rain chance actually stays higher in the Lesser Antilles, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, all the way down the island chain, really. But again, the totals may not be as prominent as areas off towards the west. But Antigua and Barbuda, 70% chance for showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder tomorrow, Wednesday, 60 Thursday. High rain chances in Montserrat. Guadeloupe and Dominica will have scattered to widespread showers and storms. A little bit lower Martinique, St. Lucia, SVNG, especially down towards SVNG the next couple of days. But it's not bad. Don't expect a lot of rain in Barbados the next couple of days, but improving on Thursday. And for the Windward Islands in general, improving late week. Grenada up to a 40% chance. TNT build to a 50% chance on Thursday. Look at Suriname and Guyana, really healthy shower and storm chances. Nueva Esparta gets up to a 50% chance on Thursday. And the ABC Islands up to a 40% chance on Thursday as well. Surf and sea conditions, as I've mentioned, will be elevated in the western Atlantic. And a big blow up of wind coming to the central and the south central southwest sides of the Caribbean. So there's that first broad low kicking up some swells in the eastern side of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, and then secondarily late into the weekend and next week, a big blow up of wind in the south central and the southwest side of the Caribbean. The question is why? Why is that going to happen? Well, let me show you. There's plenty of moisture here in the eastern side of the Pacific, excuse me. Trying to do three things at once. So I'm going to take our GFS model and I'm going to extend it out 1 week. Okay, simply 1 week, right? But off of this trough boundary, just south of Panama, in a broad area of low pressure near Colombia, we could start to see a broader spin beginning to develop, all right? So this is what the GFS model is showing you. And again, I'm not taking this out 14 days, 17 days. This is just 1 week. But you can see near the coastline of Nicaragua towards Honduras, a bit of a spin beginning to develop. If nothing else, rich, deep tropical moisture should begin to funnel back into the Western Caribbean. But friends, let me be clear. We are not too early in the season to have something get squirrely. We are into May. Sea surface temperatures are abundantly warm enough to support some kind of tropical development. I'm not sitting here saying a week from now we're going to have a depression or anything like that, but this is the first thing I've seen on the models that points to more active tropical weather in our area. So I wanted to highlight that. Obviously, I'm going to keep you guys updated daily, but you can clearly see when I bring on the wind profile here from the GFS model, right? And I loop this up, you're going to clearly see again, you got nice wind energy here. You're going to be lifting it north into the northwest side of the Caribbean. Nice little wind, by the way, coming back into Belize the next couple of days, and that windward passage as well will promote some wind towards Jamaica. But down the road towards the weekend and into early next week, this is an area again where we could see some very broad spin at the low levels. And by the way, this is surface-based wind, right? This is surface-based. So, I wanted to let this get all the way out the full time here. All right, there we go. So if I take it all the way out to a week from now, you get the idea. There's just a lot of wind here. And remember I mentioned all of the wind coming into the Caribbean in general? These white skies are winds of over 30 miles an hour sustained, right? So even if we don't get a bit of a spin, there's going to be a huge push of wind through the Lesser Antilles, ABC Islands, southern sides of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica, and into the western side of the Caribbean where there might be just enough energy here to try and spin up a little something, right? You notice how in those last couple of frames, you get that broad area. Now, if we look at it from the European model, right? That was the GFS. European model winds. I've got the streamlines on them, all right? They don't show any big kinks as of yet. So surface-wise in the European model, they don't have any type of rotation, but they certainly have that wind. The yellows that you see are, again, over 30 miles an hour, sustained surface winds. And then you've got a broad field of 20 to 25 with higher gusts coming all the way through the Caribbean. It is going to be an active pattern for these central and western areas late weekend and into next week. And again, the rainfall totals will bear that out. Again, healthy totals on the Pacific side. Watch those build north over the coming days. Still have the heavy rain throughout the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, places like that. But again, down the road, as dry as it's been here, look at all of this moisture get back into those areas. So you get the moisture, sea surface temperatures are pretty darn hot, and you get a bit of lift and spin in the atmosphere. And even as you get into the second week of May, it's not out of the question that something a little squirrely could happen here, which is something I'll be monitoring through the entire week. You guys know that for sure, right? Again, high rainfall totals are possible, portions of the Lesser Antilles, though isolated in nature. But again, a lot of red on this map. 3, 4, 5, 6+ inches of rain, over 100 millimeters in a couple of areas. Not out of the question. I appreciate you guys. You can follow us across all social media. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. Just like Claudia, you want to send me a picture or video to help tell the weather story in your area, it's myMediaMundo@gmail.com. As always, you have a specific question about the forecast, drop it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer that. While you're down there, thank you for liking and subscribing. As always, Meteo Mundo is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida, your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys, offering free consultation and policy reviews to walk you through every step of the insurance claim process. Friends, have a great rest of your Monday. Again, let me know in the comment section below what's been happening in your area. And I am back tomorrow with your latest forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas right here at Meteo Mundo.